it was just hard racing with Norbert Kish. They both gave it absolutely everything they could. Smart witness looking at the incidents. But what a great day's racing we've had, rounded out by a brilliant race 2, round 6 of the championship complete. The trucks made their way away in glorious, slightly glorious sunshine. Still changeable conditions here at Autodrom Most, but it was Teo Calvé with a lot resting on his shoulders to try and hold everyone off. It's incredible Andrei Kursim's truck didn't have more problems by the look of it, the way it came around the final corner for the first time, but as Teo told us, he spun up his rear tyres on the wet side of the circuit and wasn't able to get the start he wanted, so Kursim led them into turn 1. Norbert Kish had a fantastic start and got up to 5th place by the end of lap 1. That's not without a bit of argy-bargy from everybody else. Steffi Halm and Anthony Janiak having a bit of fisticuffs through the first chicane. Calvé kept Kursim honest though throughout the opening stages of the race. He was not disappearing off into the distance. But all the time they had more and more trucks closing them down. Janiak and Kish, the main 2 protagonists. A bit of contact between the two through the chicane. Making sure that Janiak knew he was there is probably how Norbert Kish would describe it. But eventually he would make the move after staring at the back of that very bright yellow truck for what seemed like an absolute age in the middle of the race. Jochen Hahn making his way up the order as well. A bit further back, would eventually finish in 10th place, but picking them off one by one nice and safely is exactly what he wanted to do. Kish did eventually get ahead of Janiak, as mentioned, and then set about chasing down Teo Calvé for 2nd place. Teo would just overcook it slightly into the hairpin, but that wasn't before. He had a fantastic run, holding off Norbert for a handful of corners, but then the true moment into the chicane, into the hairpin, hard on the brakes, locking up and running wide was all that Kish needed. He would then go about setting fastest lap after fastest lap, chasing down Andrei Kursim with only a handful of them to go. The chase soon began, with Kish trying to use every single piece of the truck to find his way through. Kursim did a great job at holding him off, albeit with a few squeezes and bumps and scrapes along the way. The rest of the field shuffled around in the meantime inside the top 10, but overall not too many positions changed by the end. Then the move came. Norbert Kish looks down the inside of Kursim, the two of them rub panels, and eventually, as they headed into turn 6 and 7, it would be Kish that took the lead and stayed there with only 1 lap remaining. He took it, and his 4th win of the season. Of course, the incident still under investigation, but on the road, it was Kish from Kursim with Teo Calvé in 3rd, and the drifting began. A great display of vehicle control and a great display of pace once again from Norbert Kish, who is really defining himself as the man to beat this season. The only time he hasn't won a race this year was when he had a failure on the truck in the very first race at the Hungaroring. So yeah, top 3 then, Kish, Kursim and Calvé, who of course took a win in the Goodyear Cup for that race, so plenty of silverware for the young Frenchman already this weekend, and we'll see what he can do going into the next 2 races tomorrow. But our overall standings then are as follows. Norbert Kish now leads the championship by 1 point from Sascha Lenz, with Adam Lachko in 3rd, 10 points clear of Antonio Albertetti. Steffi Halm is 5th, and Jochen Hahn is on less than half of the points of Norbert Kish. The 6-time champion will have a lot of work to do to catch up. Teo Calvé leads the Goodyear Cup, and in the overall championship, he is 7th ahead of Shane Brereton on 20 points. Andrei Kursim and Anthony Janiak round out the top 10. Good stuff from Janiak, considering that this is his first meeting of the year.